Sydney, like other major cities throughout the world, has the problems associated with increasing population, commercial and industrial activity, and the consequent rapid growth in vehicular traffic. To overcome this traffic problem, the Department of Main Roads, New South Wales, planned a system of freeways and distributors to supplement the normal road system. The Western Distributor, included in the proposals, was planned to allow movement of through traffic from Sydney Harbour Bridge to Ultimo, providing a direct route along the western side of the city, clear of the busy commercial centre. Traffic density had reached major proportions by 1969, when work on the first section of the distributor commenced. During the early stages, work consisted of widening the Sydney Harbour Bridge toll plaza on both sides to provide a working area in the centre. Work commenced on the western side and included a temporary footbridge. This bridge served pedestrians until underpasses came into operation in the later stages. Work was then undertaken on the eastern side of the plaza, including the construction of a retaining wall along York Street North. Construction also commenced on columns to support the elevated carriageway. The columns are supported on spread footings or cast in situ piles. The length of columns supporting the viaduct are up to 22 metres above the ground. The location of the distributor is through a highly developed area, and demolition of properties on the right-of-way was necessary. Some of this demolition took place during the construction of the distributors. The columns at the northern end of the project were required to be completed first to allow extensive reconstruction in the toll plaza to proceed. Excavation was also commenced for pedestrian underpasses. Following completion of the columns at the northern end, the deck was constructed and work on the columns proceeded at the southern end. The pier headstocks were stressed with the VSL post-tensioning system. Seven-strand 13mm cables were used, with a minimum breaking strain of 41.3 kilograms. Up to 14 cables were used in each stressing group. Stressing was carried out with a 400-ton jack. Further progress on decks allowed construction of the pedestrian underpasses to proceed. At the same time, deck construction was continuing at the southern end. Shorex frame falsework was used extensively. The falsework was designed to span roadways and allowed construction of the viaduct to proceed without interference to traffic below. When the bottom slab and webs of the cellular box girder section were completed, work then commenced on the 17 centimetre thick top slab. Careful checking of the reinforcement was made prior to the placing of the deck concrete. To facilitate placing of concrete on the deck, a conveyor assembly capable of moving transversely and longitudinally was used. The distributor is now taking shape. At the northern end, the distributor consists of 2 viaducts for opposing streams of traffic. Work proceeded on the pedestrian underpasses. The paving consisted mainly of paving bricks. Concrete walls were sandblasted to expose the round river aggregate, thus providing a pleasing appearance. Each of the pedestrian areas is different in design, thereby providing its own character. Adjustments to some of the nearby city streets were required. In one instance, an ornamental tree had to be transplanted. The Department of Main Roads is conscious of the need for roadside beautification, and special efforts are made to preserve trees wherever possible. A qualified tree surgeon supervised the operation. This section of the distributor will merge temporarily with the street system at its southern end. The height of the structure is emphasized by the mass of supporting falsework. The distributor will ultimately be a 2-level viaduct over most of its length. A short part over Sussex Street was constructed to minimize interference with traffic when the next stage is being built. When the distributor is extended, several spans will be raised by jacking to allow further construction of the upper and lower decks. When the concrete decks of both north and southbound carriageways were completed, they were ready for the final asphaltic paving. In September 1972, the distributor was opened to southbound traffic, which could proceed directly through the toll gates and toll plaza onto the distributor. Special signs were erected to direct traffic around and onto the new facility. All pedestrian areas were then completed. Landscaping with shrubs and plants was undertaken by the Sydney City Council on behalf of the Department of Main Roads. The northbound carriageway, together with access to the city street system, was opened shortly after. A traffic ramp with an overhead footbridge, providing a more direct access for traffic from Pyrmont Bridge to the distributor, was constructed as a temporary connection. To help motorists select the best route to their destination, a sign placed on the bridge indicates by colour the appropriate route to be taken. Additional coloured signs are repeated at intervals. The first stage of the distributor, now complete, when extended, will ultimately provide for southbound traffic only. Northbound traffic will be provided for on an adjacent viaduct to be built on the western side.